G, Earl, and Anthony will be holding down the fort tonight and Friday for games 2 and 3. It is the Cavs post-game show. They will launch that stream with about a minute left in the game, and we will go live until we have dissected everything possible. You see the nugget on there. I'll be back for game 4. Games 2 and 3. It's the 3 to my left on that graphic. Anthony, Earl, G. Bush holding down the fort. Appreciate you guys. And with that being said, let's talk about the game. Game 2 tonight, man.
Listen, we was gonna wait for Brad to get here regardless.
Oh, yeah. I'm riding around a Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I'm looking for some Knicks people. that's how I was delayed. I was like, let me run by this thing here and see what's going on.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, let's get to it because I was livid the other day. Livid.
He's chomping at the bit. OG, listen. You perfectly foreshadow it. What you say? You said they was going to thug it up.
They're going to thug it up.
They're going to thug it up, and that's exactly what they did. What were your thoughts on, especially from the bigs, and how the mentality of Thibodeau and the Knicks really showed up in game 1?
Look at my face here. Jason knows the deal. This is not rocket science here, right? We look up. We got 2 thin dudes playing in the front court. So the first thing, and I told you I played for Tib. Minnesota, he was assistant coach of Minnesota when I was a Timberwolves. I knew what he was going to do. He's going to thug it up, right? So they're going to pound, put a little wood on Jared Allen, put a little wood on Mobley. They was all right, but you got to meet this wood with wood. This is not for the meek and mild manner. This is not for that. This is for understanding the moment. And we were looking like we were figuring out the arithmetic in the math problem. That's what the problem was, right? And it took us too long to figure it out. Cause then I listened because I go to the post-game commentary. I want to hear what people say. Cause I've been here, I've seen it, right? I've been that person. One of the first things that caught me, Jason, was this. They were interviewing Darius after the game. The first thing Darius said was he had deferred too much to Donovan Mitchell. So he understood that. So you can't, because you got to have a 2-pronged attack at least. You'd rather have 3, but if you got 2, you got to have 2. But he said this, and it troubled me. He said, and it wasn't Darius' fault. He didn't understand. He said, and Jason, you can comment to this. He said, well, we got a long series here. You have a long series here. And when you're a young player, I told you this the other day when I was here. You think it says 7-game series. You think you have 7. You don't have 7.
That's not guaranteed.
Bro, you have 4. That's all you have is 4. Right?
Guess what?
Tonight, now you down 3.
Tonight you have 1.
Right. It's the 3. It's not a 7. It's a 7 if you force it to a 7. It's 4. It's the first one to 4. They've got 1. So that means they need 3. That means you need to still win 4.
Yeah.
So the mentality is, to your point, Jason, 48 minutes. Got to get 1.
Yeah.
Stop looking down the road. And then the other thing is, this is to my, you know how much I like JB, I like his family, right?
Anytime you say, and that's a big preface.
You got to get the wake-up call too here, bro. Ain't no need, man.
Which one?
No need here. Danny Green gonna have to play, right? Because you're gonna need some stability here.
You need.
They was backing off a coral like South, like
the floor is yours.
Iowa was doing South Carolina in the girls' game. I'm like, dude, we can't. This is not happening on the pro level. It does not.
Hey, Jason, was it a thing with Isaac? Is it a thing? I don't think it's a confidence thing. I think it's just a thing where he just can't. He's not going to be consistent at hitting that. How did they manufacture you? I heard you on the radio. Shooting.
Shooting.
How can JB manufacture that some
They don't
way?
have shooting. That's the problem. They have, outside of Darius and Donovan, who on that roster are you confident can consistently make threes? Karras should be in that guy.
Yeah.
He should be. He was so bad the other night, he has to regain, as far as I'm concerned, he has to regain trust. Karras was the worst player on the floor. He was awful.
He was shell shocked too.
Oh my God, he was awful. He
was
was worse than I thought he was going to be. And Karras is inconsistent to begin with. He could give you 30.
But after the All-Star
he could
break,
go 2 for 12.
After the All-Star break, he looked pretty good.
He did.
After that trade deadline, excuse me, not the All-Star
he
break.
looked
After the trade
when
deadline.
he was settled and knew he was going to be
great.
here.
So,
But then when they needed him.
I'm going to use that as an anomaly. The problem here has always been this. The 3 position has always been the problem.
Yes, it has.
So it was a problem in August. It was a problem in October. It was a problem in December. All-Star break. The trade deadline was a problem. So we have settled into what we have now. You cannot be rigid in your thinking here. This is when people get pulled. People who have played the entire season can get pulled now. Because I'm just trying to get out the moment. And if Danny Green can help me get out the moment, then guess what? Danny, you my guy today.
I've been on.
Did you hear me? Today.
I'm
not tomorrow. Today.
Hey, I wrote after the game they should start him, and I know that sounds ridiculous.
No, that's
Jason,
exactly what you
But
do.
to the casual fan, that sounds ridiculous.
I've been in this game a long time. You know I have. I was sitting on my couch thinking the same thing. You start Danny Green the next day.
We've all been yelling that. I have to cut off my hair if he.
Let me tell you.
I got to cut off my hair if he don't play tonight.
Let me tell you why you have to do it, right? And I know, Jay.
Because there's a lot of downside to playing him.
Well,
go
there's
ahead.
Defensively.
The reason why you do it is you have to throw them a wrinkle now that they're not expecting. The other thing is you are concerned about Danny. Danny Green can get go. He showed you in the last 2 games he might get going. So guess what? I have to pay him attention. What I saw on Saturday was this: they didn't give a darn about Okoro at all.
No.
That is now I'm playing 4-on-5. It's a problem.
We've said that all season long. I've said it since they got Danny.
It's
Danny
a
can
problem.
help them in the playoffs because in the postseason, when it becomes a half-court game, you can't play 4-on-5. And the Knicks were putting an extra guy in the paint.
Yes!
Like, it wasn't even like playing off of Isaac. They had him in the paint.
It was Caitlin Clark or Raven Johnson.
Yeah,
in
it
South
was everything
Carolina.
but the
That's
wave.
exactly what it was.
It was everything but the wave.
If you JB, what I used to like about Ty Lue is that he was a guy that would switch. He would say, Kevin, you might not be in the lineup. He'd go small. He messed around. I remember him going into a series. Mozgov was playing, but then he wasn't playing no more. If you JB, do you come out and say, okay, I used to get Kevin Love involved with the basketball, first shot of every game with Kyrie and LeBron. Yeah. Do you come out and say, okay, I want to establish something? Do you want to get, hey, Darius, I want you to be aggressive from get-go. The ball going to be in your hand a lot because I need you to be aggressive throughout this game because I don't think it was aggressive enough.
No, he pretty much admitted that after the game. He took a second backseat to Donovan Mitchell. That is fine that Donovan Mitchell is your closer, but there's Garland. You're right here with him. You have to come with him, right?
Yeah.
You two have to set the tone here. The other thing, I just tell you this, right? To Jason, you cannot play 4-on-5 out here, and I don't care how much I like him, how much he give me this presence, defense. I cannot play 4-on-5 and playoff basketball here. You will get your butt run out this gym.
Well, guess what?
Today, you got to have this one today. Because if you don't get this one today, it is a freaking problem.
It's over. If you go down 2-0, the best case scenario is you're coming home 3-1.
You go back 1-1, I guarantee you this. You listen to me, Cleveland. The Knicks will turn into the Knicks. It's a guarantee. And if you don't know what I mean, they always self-implode somewhere along the line. But if you get them a 2-0 lead, going back into the Garden, the chance of self-implosion.
Yeah.
McNuggets, what you got?
I just want to add one point to what you guys have mentioned to kind of clarify why 4-on-5 is a way bigger issue for this particular Cavs team than it would be for some other teams who can get away with playing a non-shooter on the wing. You already have Mobley and Allen who don't space the floor. And when you could put a third defender within 6 feet of the rim, it makes it damn near impossible for Donovan Mitchell to get clean looks on his attacks. And as good as he is, he's a freaking savant. He's a wizard at doing it. Relying on him to do that 15, 20 times a game against literally four defenders. His guy, the guy who's guarding Mobley, who's sagging off, the guy who's guarding Allen, who's always around the rim because Allen doesn't leave, and the guy who's guarding the paint because Okuro's just a ghost on the perimeter. That's a damn near impossible task to ask him to replicate time after time after time.
Well, anytime you're playing 4-on-5 in any NBA game, you're at a disadvantage, right? So you cannot do 4-on-5. The other thing you cannot do is, and I'll go to this, You cannot be playing Rubio in them 6 minutes. They just cannot. There's nothing that nobody can do in 6 minutes.
I don't think he plays again in this series.
So I say if you commit to playing somebody, unless you try to get out a quarter in some foul trouble, don't expect no production from nobody for 5 or 6 minutes.
But you don't need to play Ricky because
I don't care if it's Ricky or whoever. You play somebody 4 or 5 minutes, you get nothing. Well, basically most times.
What I wrote for today in The Athletic was, to me, one of the most important stretches is the end of the first quarter and the first 4 minutes of the second quarter, when you have to have multiple subs on the floor. You can't play, there's parts in the game where you're going to have multiple bench guys in the game. It's just
it is.
Yeah, unless you're not starting one of your key guys or pulling them 2 minutes into the game, you have to rely on somebody. I think Dean gets another chance, Dean Wade, because they have no other playable bigs. Lamar Stevens, again, can't shoot. He's not a consistent three-point shooter. He plays bigger than what he is, but he's not a shooter. So I think you have to give Dean another look. Karras obviously is going to get another look. I don't think Ricky plays. You don't need him to. You have 2 ball handlers on the floor, and Darius and Donovan. One of them is going to be on the floor the entire game. So you don't need to play Ricky necessarily. So I think he comes out. But we also have to address, there's risk in playing Danny. It's not, if it was such a slam dunk, it would have happened already.
It's risk.
There is high risk in playing him. I mean, first of all, he's got to make shots to stay on the floor. If he goes, and I've been his biggest proponent of anyone, if he goes 0 for 6, he's not helping you because he's going to get cooked on the defensive end. They're going to hunt him in pick and rolls. Whoever he's guarding, they're going to try and get him on the move. He can't move as well as he did 4 and 5 years ago. He's a liability defensively. But if he's making shots and you're trading 3 for 2, I'll take that trade.
They're going to hunt him with who?
Whoever's guarding him.
Oh, man, come on.
Whoever he's guarding.
Josh Hart is not here today.
Wait a minute. You don't think they're going to put Danny in pick and rolls?
They're not hunting Danny Green.
You don't think they're going to put him in?
That is not the issue. The issue is you are playing 4 against 5. Because you have enough.
Totally agree.
You have enough here. What I cannot do is play a person. And you guys talk about shoot. It's not shooting. You have to be a threat to score.
So,
I don't need. If you could bang some threes, it'd be great. But you have to at least be a threat to score, right? If I don't have a threat to score, I'm not going into Mobley. I'm doubling down on him. He not. And then I tell you what they were doing. They were playing straight wood on you, right?
Yeah.
They'll bang him around.
Yeah.
So and then the other. Let me just get this last point off. I told you they were going to thug this up, right? So when Julius Randle starts thugging against Jared Allen don't defend himself. Donovan Mitchell comes in to defend this, right? Yeah. Now, you saw last night, Draymond Green said, what? You grab me, you get this foot in your chest. And afterwards, the bonus said, it's okay, we're just playing a basketball play. Yeah, because you have to defend yourself.
I thought, I don't want to get off on a tangent. I didn't like that call. I didn't think Draymond deserved a flagrant.
No, neither did I. But
what's he supposed to do?
If he grab your foot, this is what playoff basketball is. You have to meet force with force.
Yeah.
You do this, I'm doing this.
And that's what's so.
I bet you the next time Sabonis don't grab no leg,
he'll think about it.
But I get you. If I get up in your ribs one time and you don't respond, you think that's not coming tonight.
Right. And that's what's fascinating because if you look at the talent of the player, I'll take Evan Mobley and Jared Allen over Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle every day of the week. Mm-hmm. The Cavs have the better basketball players. But when it comes to size and strength, I mean, it doesn't help you now. Evan's got to get bigger. He's got to get bigger and stronger, but that's not going to happen before game 2. No. but I mean, there were moments where Julius treated him like a toddler, just threw him out of the way. And that's why I said before the series started, I didn't like this matchup. I really don't like this matchup.
He has to, when I look at it like this, I really think that JB and his staff should have really thought about, okay, well, let's be conscious of this. Right. We got to be very, very pinpoint on how many guys we're going to play, right? Because here's sometimes when you throw a bunch of people in and you just kind of see a little bit, to your point, you might not get that sample size enough to say, I don't know who's really playing. Because I didn't get anything from Rubio. I didn't really get much I didn't see Stevens in a lot of these guys. I thought at least Jetty hit 2 threes. He did hit a couple threes. So now I'm looking at it like this. What's the advantage I can have if I do start a Danny Green? If you can get off to a quick start and you start hitting some of those shots, now I got a buffer. The Cavs fought back all game. They were down 10, 12 points. They kept fighting back.
You know why they were down? That stretch into the first quarter into the second.
Yep.
The game completely flipped, and they were chasing them the rest of the night when the bench was on the floor.
And chasing. Let's ask this question. Okay. When we're looking at it from a point of, yes, they played bad. They didn't shoot the ball. The bench got nothing. The bigs got bullied. With all that being said, they was up a point with 2 minutes left in the game. Mm-hmm. When you come back in here as a silver lining, what is one thing that they can do? And we'll start with you, Jason. One thing that they can do that flips the game a little bit and says, okay, guys, we do this, we win the game.
Evan went 3 of 11 on paint shots in the paint. If he goes 6 of 11, which is not a big ask, they win the game. So and I think he will. I think if he finishes around the basket better, more demonstrative, more physical around the basket, that's a plus. One thing I'll note, we know this is a top-heavy roster. We know the top 4 are going to carry this team. The Cavs' top 4 played more minutes than any foursome in the first round or in the first opening games of any series by a wide margin. They were on the floor together for like 32 minutes. The next closest was like 28 minutes. And that 4 obviously play really well together. And if you look at their 4-man lineup versus all the other best 4-man lineups, they're right there with teams that won their opening games by double figures. So the 4 isn't the problem. It's finding just 2 or 3 guys. And you don't need them to win you the game. You just need them to not lose you the game. And if they can just find 2 or 3 guys, if Jetty can repeat his performance, which is not a given, but if he can repeat his performance, if you can get something out of Danny or Dean or someone else, you just need someone to just hold the rope for 3 or 4 minutes. That's really all that you're asking for here. But there's one more thing I'll say. If I'm the Knicks, Julius Randle first came back from an ankle. Brunson was in foul trouble. Quigley played like crap. R.J. Barrett played like crap. That was not their best game by a long shot, and they still won. So we can sit here and say, Cavs did this, and this, and they lost, and if they clean that up, they'll be fine. Okay, fair. But the Knicks have a lot of things as well that they didn't play to their standard, and they still won game 1 on the road. So,
your thoughts, Brad? What's something they could do to say, we do this, we back in the series?
You got to be strategic and smart here, right? So first of all, the Knicks are the Knicks, right? They're not more than they are. This is just the Knicks, right? Right. And at some point, they're gonna be who they are. This is who they are. I don't care how many times they bring Spike to the thing, right?
Yeah,
this is gonna be what it is, right? The thing is, you have to meet head on. First of all, it is about playing winning basketball. I looked at Sacramento last night. Mike Brown threw in a bunch of people last night. The only requirement that if you play was that you got to give me something, right? Yeah. You cannot come off this sideline and give me nothing, right? And that's what we got on Saturday. A bunch of people came off the game on Saturday and gave you nothing, right? So that puts extra load on your guys up front. Now, if they're struggling, it makes it a struggle. So we have to counteract that. The other thing is if you don't think that the Knicks are going to come out here and sample size to thug it up again.
Oh, that's coming.
That's coming, right? So so I'm confident that we'll be prepared this time to expect that to come our way. The thing I could do is I'm not starting Danny Green, right? Because if I start Danny Green, Okoro might go in the tank on me, right? That's how shaky it looks, right? So now you got to be cognizant of, because you're going to need him along the way. So you can't just
get up out of here. First round.
You just can't knife him up, right?
Right.
So, but Danny Green is waiting quickly in the wings.
Is he your first guy?
Oh, he one of my first people coming in.
First guy?
Because I tell you what, when he steps on the floor, you at least have to respect this.
You have to know where he is on the floor.
You have to respect that he's been in the championship series. He knows what to do. This dude might drill one on me, so I can't shade in here. I got to pay attention here because he might get going here. Because they seen the last 2 films.
How did you guys feel about, it's kind of, I don't know how I feel about the defense. How did you feel about the Cavs were the number 1 defense coming into it? Did you think they met them with more force? Because I was expecting them to ratchet it up a little bit. How did you think they did on the defensive side of the ball?
They were playing like it was the 82-game season. And that's until you are in the playoffs, it is an entirely different beast. You have to amp it up. And it's a different amp up because it's a methodical amp up. It is a mano-a-mano you're not going to beat me down here today, right? If you watch all these games in the NBA playoffs, that's how it's been, right? The referees have let people play. They've given you some leeway here.
And
right?
I'll give you
It always
this.
goes that way.
Guys who we traditionally that guy don't know what he's doing. I watched Russell Westbrook. I was impressed with his just tenacity, the small stuff, didn't give an inch. He was not scared to shoot.
3 for 19, but the rest of his game was flawless.
It was just, and even guys, and I was even thinking about this. I watched Kawhi Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard had to remind me, hold on, the way he was just like, no, I'm going to get to my spot. I'm going to still do this. Zubac, he
played hard.
Played hard.
Did the dirty work.
And then I was watching this, Jason. I just watched Eric Gordon just be ready to shoot. I was just like, man, what we begin for somebody like that?
Man off the bench. I mean, people come in off the side, got to give you something. Now, I'll give Jetty some credit. Jetty came in the second half, and he played, right? Because I tell you what, you cannot let Brunson get out there and get going. You have to go at him. So Darius Garland, you're going to have to go at him, right? You're going to have to get him busy, right? You got to keep him occupied because he was coming down. He was just having his way. He was like, I'm just going to cross you over, and I'm coming back to the left. You know I'm coming back to the left.
He reminds me of, like, you know how tough and gritty Delonte West used to be with that little left hand? And it would be like he would have the nerve to go down in the post and give you business. You're like, how is you spotting up? Is they really just spotting up Brunson on the post and he ain't looking that big? Yes.
But you got to move him out of there. That's why I said it is a different mentality. Somebody here has to absorb. Now, I tell you who I wouldn't mind putting on Brunson. Stevens. I wouldn't mind putting Stevens on Brunson.
I wouldn't mind it either.
I wouldn't mind it.
Can you play 3 non-shooters, though?
No.
Listen.
Somebody's minutes got to go.
I've got to negate some of this stuff here. Because some of this stuff, Mikey, will send you home. It will send you home. Right?
I get you.
Brunson's a
one
problem.
Without fixing another.
Here. The one problem is Brunson's a problem, right?
Yes.
And you didn't do anything to stop it all night. It just kept coming at you, right? And the more it got going, the more comfortable he felt about giving it to you, right? So that's got to be cut off today. 27 points he gave you.
Hey, Brad, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You know this better than anyone else can answer. There are certain guys throughout the history of basketball where it doesn't matter how good defense you play, they're still going to score.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Durant, you could be in his face, hand up, perfect contest. He's going to make his shot.
True.
The way Brunson plays, I know he's only 6'1", 6'2", but the way he fades away, the way he uses his body, especially when he backs down in the post, he cooked Osman, he cooked Okoro, he cooked anyone they put on him in game 1. Does it really matter who the Cavs have on him, or is he the kind of player who is impervious to defense just because the way he gets his buckets?
Okay, so let's stop now because Brunson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you're
He is not like that.
Brunson is not Durant. Let's stop, right?
No, I get it, but he takes shots
what
where
you have
his
to
defense is
do,
less.
what you have to do, Mikey, is you have to hit him with some size and strength. You have to send the message from the beginning. It's not going down like that today.
JC,
it's not going down like that. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes we can overthink it, talk about the matchups, this and that. So you're not getting your money off today.
He is not him.
The way people have been talking about Jalen Brunson around here for the last week.
Crazy.
I said that with Ken. I'm like, guys, it's Jalen Brunson. This isn't Kobe. Listen, Jalen Brunson's a good player.
Nice guy.
He's a great scorer in a league built for scoring. But he ain't making any All-NBA teams. He's not catching any MVP votes.
So how about
and this idea that Okoro is the only guy who can slow him down,
get out of
then
here.
Where the hell was Okoro in the fourth quarter? They didn't even play him. They didn't even play him.
Let me ask you this, you basketball savants out here. What hand is Jalen Brunson?
Left.
Where was he finishing at?
Left.
Going left. Coming right and coming back left, right?
He only goes left.
What if I sit on that left hand and send you the other way?
JB mentioned that. Didn't mention him by name.
He did say that in the post game.
But said after the game that they were letting guys get to their strong hand. And that's what he was referring to.
Let me send you the other way. Now, this is where this shrewdness comes in at, right? That's why I put a bigger guy on it. I'm sending you to the right. I'm going to sit on this left hand. You're going to go right, but the one thing when you go right, guess what you're going to be worried about? Me and my length coming behind you, right? This other thing, he got this little tricky thing that he gets his little left hand off on you. And then the other thing he does too, he bullies you down there. He gets you down and get your little body, and he gets no, we didn't have none of that.
You know what I loved watching McNuggets, to your point? I watched the first half of the Brooklyn Sixers game, right? And I was impressed the way Brooklyn was like, you know what, Joel Embiid, we're not going to let you do that.
We're doubling down.
We're going to double you every time. We're going to come from different places, behind you, from beside, and we going. Now, look, to their credit, I'll shake his hand. Maxey beat him. Maxey was Harden hit a couple shots. Tobias Harris.
They stopped doubling them.
But they stopped doubling them in the second half. And if I'm looking at Jalen Brunson and I'm looking at you, that's the thing with small guards. If you notice what Tibbs did, when Darius Garland get the ball, they like double him right off.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because the other thing you can do, the other thing is about making small time game adjustments, things that they're not going to expect. So what if I flood him a couple times and start taking the ball out of his hand?
Yeah.
The one thing you're not going to get today is 27. That's not happening today.
RJ Barrett
ain't happening today.
RJ Barrett will have to see. I feel like Mobley. I feel he's further along enough where I could single him, like, right? If you let Julius Randle shoot jumpers, I'll take it.
Yeah,
like, he might hit a couple of them.
Take my money on.
But I don't want him in the paint. But my thing is, I blitz Brunson, and I would tell, hey, look, if old boy, what's his name? Zion's boy. If
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett. If he want to get 25 with his left hand shot, go ahead.
He looked lost too.
He was awful. He was terrible.
He looked lost too.
So let him shoot.
I would say this though. It is about doing whatever. Here's the one thing I noticed. The Knicks are a young fledgling team too. They're trying to make it too. They're trying to figure their way out.
Yep.
The Knicks will be satisfied with leaving Cleveland 1-1. Yes, they will.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah.
Like
that's what they should
accomplish.
They'll be satisfied 1-1. So you have a tactical edge going into the game because they're not hungry enough to go for two. See, because the cruise I was on, we hungry enough to come for two. We're trying to get two.
The teams LeBron would get people because they wanted the rest. They wanted to go
get the two. We'll get the two.
They want to get two.
The Knicks going to allow you a chance to, now whether we take it or not is a different thing, but the Knicks are going to allow you a chance to get this game tonight. Right? The only sole thing is don't even look down the road. You got to leave Cleveland tonight 1-1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you believe there's another, because we've seen it with LeBron, we've actually seen it with Kyrie a little bit too. Do you believe there's another level that Donovan Mitchell could play? Or do you think what he gave you there at 38, 40, he's tapped out, and that's the best he's going to give you?
Donovan is not LeBron. Like, let's be clear. Sorry, Earl. Donovan is not LeBron. But he can be the Kyrie. You know, he is that level. He's probably better.
Is he hot?
And we saw it. You know, we saw Donovan the last 2.5 minutes of the game basically say, get the hell out of the way. Give me the ball and move. And let me do this. And he is capable of doing that. He almost dragged them to a win. So he can control the game. I mean, I've seen LeBron controlled a 48-minute game, played all 48 minutes, and controlled every moment of the game.
What you say?
No, I'm no disrespect. But
that sounds disrespectful.
Listen, that 2018 with Jordan Clarkson, Rodney Hood,
that game 7 at Boston was stuff I've never seen
ever.
Yeah. That's
and he slow walked in.
And that's why. And I don't want to keep going back to that era.
Bums.
But when you did have LeBron going down 1-0 in a series, okay, it's not ideal, but it's, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It feels different with the young team that hasn't ever been there.
Yes.
When you drop the first game at home, it's just different. And that's why, to your point, I think the sense of urgency goes up a little bit.
Well,
had they won that game, had they figured out a way to win that game, then you have a little bit more time to figure things out. You don't have that much time.
Let me tell you the one thing that you guys are. I know you understand it, but I don't think you're giving it the credence that it's due. You have to have people on the floor that understand the moment. That's why you play a guy like Danny Green, because he understands the moment. You follow me? You sit here, and my point of saying that it's not a 7-game series. You're in a 1-game series. That's today, right? A person who's been in the fray before will know that. You won't have to tell them that. It's all the marbles today, right? Now, a young person who's never been there, because you have to think for Garland, Mobley, Jared Allen to a degree, this is all in theory. It's a theoretical series for them.
How you feel about Kevin Love now?
Well, Kevin Love, I've been listening to this thing for the last couple of days. Kevin Love could have done, let me say, before the game the other night, Kevin Love had done nothing down in Miami.
He hadn't.
He had done nothing in Miami.
But the 18, the
18 for a
it
game.
resonates with your heart.
It's really bad timing for the Cavs. They need rebounding and 3-point shooting. I'm a man.
The 18 for the day.
I was hurt.
I would check Kevin's stats down in Miami. There was nothing. Now, it showed up the other day, but for the season, it was nothing. So, if you tell me Kevin Love strings 4 or 5 games together like that, then there's a difference. But if he reverts to what I saw in Miami the last month and a half,
yes.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly
okay.
kill the Cavs.
But it did make you say,
damn. It did make you say, boy, those are bad options. That's really bad timing.
If we're gonna do this, right? You guys know I've been a proponent on this thing. What you had to resolve your 3-man. Who did I say bring in here?
Carmelo.
I said that, right?
Yeah.
They don't slouch off Carmelo in that Knicks game, right? They don't. That gives Mobley room to work down there. But if they're going to play Okoro, you think what they're going to do today?
So,
give them to Caitlin Clark. Give them to Caitlin Clark.
Come on.
Come on.
That's the self-check.
No, it's more like.
Yeah. Out of here.
So
I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that in the NBA game. So have you ever seen that? I don't think I've ever.
Tony Allen.
I don't think I've ever seen it in an NBA playoff game. Have you?
They used to sag off Rondo.
No.
Like that.
They should. Yeah, maybe.
Tony Allen.
Bro, they used to give Rondo that.
Maybe Rondo, right?
Rondo, right?
Westbrook.
But it was a little concerning to me that the Cavs' first trip down the floor, that was their first look. We want to get Isaac Okoro involved.
No.
We want Isaac Okoro to take our first shot.
Boy.
And he missed it, and I thought, oh, Lord, that's not a good sign.
Let's get y'all on the record. Score tonight, and do the Cavs win? What we got?
I don't give the score, but I'll tell you what. I got the Cavs winning because I think that they understand the moment, right? And I'm gonna be severely disappointed if I don't got a body politic response today, right? I'm gonna be severely disappointed.
Jason?
I really thought they would lose game 1, and I think they absolutely win game 2. I think it's 1-1 going back to the Garden.
I'll say I will be severely disappointed. I will say that I overestimated not just the skill, but just the understanding the sense of urgency that they got to get to. I think they win this game. I actually, to be truthful, I think they win it 5, 6, 7 points. But they better win it.